Service animals have been around for many years, providing proper care to those with life-altering disabilities. However, it was not until recently that emotional support animals came to surface. Arguably, all pets offer a percentage's worth of emotional support, yet specific individuals depend upon their pets for more than just cuddles and a game of fetch. The topic of emotional support animals has been wildly controversial in the United States in the last couple of months. As a matter of fact, BBC wrote an article about United Airlines refusing to allow an emotional support peacock on their plane in January of 2018. Similarly, Time magazine covered a news story on a woman whose emotional support squirrel got kicked off of a plane in this past October. Meet Allison Loda, a New York City local and owner of support dogs Myrtle and Isaac.
So I'm a super anxious person for sure. I do not like change at all. It was important for me to have Myrtle, as she really was an emotional support animal when I first got her. She truly was. I was making a big move, and I needed emotional support. She just was always there. I can always count on coming home to Myrtle and Isaac. That will constantly be like a good, safe, like steady place. And they're my life because it's only me and the two dogs in this like studio. I feel like anybody could have this. Like it's copy and paste. It's a templated letter with a letterhead. Like that's what they need, a letterheaded and then signed from your doctor. Like I am emotionally dependent on them, of course, but I would never expect them to be allowed to be in places that they should not be.
This is Amy Heffman, manager of Cask Bar and Kitchen in Murray Hill, New York.
Somebody comes in and says that it's a service dog or that it's an emotionally supported dog, I kind of feel like I have to let them in. It is against New York state law to ask somebody to prove that the dog is actually a service dog, because anybody can purchase the outfit for the dog, so there's no way of proving that the dog is actually a service dog. Like as a manager, I don't think it looks very good. It's not very hygienic for a dog to be in the restaurant. The staff, I just kind of ask them to make sure they don't pet it, just try and ignore it. Yes, of course I'm sensitive, but at the same time, especially in the restaurant industry and in the service industry, it doesn't really seem legitimate, and people don't always seem really dependent on their service dog.
Last but not least, Melanie Russell, the Associate Director of Disability Services at Fordham University, here to discuss the emotional support animal phenomenon that has struck campus. Russell specifically dwells upon the Fair Housing Act, in which defines emotional support animals as any animal that provides emotional support that alleviates one or more identified symptoms or effects of a person's disability.
The Fair Housing Act is protecting students that are qualified for emotional support animals to receive the accommodation to have them in the dorm room. Emotional support animals serve a more passive role, and their function is to simply provide comfort to the individual. With emotional support animals, tends to be for people with invisible disabilities. It's hard to gauge at what level is that anxiety and or depression rising to the level of a true disability, because it's clear that some people are manipulating the system and there isn't a real need. It's very easy to be approved for emotional support animal. You can apply online and send in a letter from your therapist and get a vest and call it a day. And not supposed to be able to bring an emotional support animal on a plane or in a classroom or in any public forum. Young people struggling with mental health issues often comes out in the form of struggling to maintain good self-care. And so if they're struggling to maintain good self-care, how are they possibly going to give proper care to an animal?
Although emotional support animals are an extremely significant part of many people's lives, the rules are often bended, as people like to use the terms service animals and emotional support animals interchangeably, when in fact they are quite different. However, at the end of the day, dogs like Myrtle and Isaac are always pleasant company.